Yo, what's good? Hey, I wanted to apologize for ruining the immersion because I'm in a different sweatshirt and it's just really throwing you off. For the beginning of this video, we're going to be looking into how can you take one extra background vocal, so basically the same take that you've already recorded before. Say you have another extra one or something. How can you turn one double of your main vocal into something that gives your main vocal width and depth? So it's actually a really cool effect, and we're just doing it on one track. Super simple. So we're going to be talking about that for the first portion of this video. And then for the rest of the video, I'm going to be talking about how I was able to mix this specific vocal into my mix that I was having a little bit issues with. And I really think I was able to get it to mix in very cleanly. So stick around if you want to see that. We'll get into it. I want to do it mainly on this little 8-bar loop. Yeah, so let's take a little listen. I'm gonna run into it.
Cause I've been making fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, raining bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you're getting back less. That's a problem I'd attack, I should probably reflect. I should probably get away before the shit gets worse. I should probably tell the truth instead of holding that. Yeah, I like to welcome in the pain and go and deal it out more. I should probably get away before the shit gets worse, yeah.
So if you want to know how to still make your vocal sound wide, one take on the background vocals. So this is basically just a double of the main vocal. And if you have extra takes of your main vocal, you could actually just use one of those. It's just about making it sound wildly different than the main take, and then making it wide too. So all I did, it's actually a pretty simple effects chain, is here limiter, fruity limiter, autotune, obviously. A little bit of EQ. The EQ is completely scooping out the lows compared to my main vocal EQ, which keeps the lows and stuff. And then it has a little presence boost because I wanted it to run into the distortion really hard there and run into the de-esser really hard. So there's this de-esser here. You get it. Don't want it to be harsh. That's something important about making background vocals. You want your background vocals to be as unintrusive as possible, yet layering with your main vocal. So if you can de-ess the crap out of it, then just do that. It's going to blend better. So then once I came into here on the actual other ad-lib track, I put basically like a pass filter. So I just wanted the stuff in the middle, basically where most of the I'm not intelligible. The intelligibility of your vocal sits. It's mainly in this area, so I just took all that out. It's kind of like radioing your voice. That's what it sounds like. And then this is what actually makes it wide. So it's actually the vintage chorus. It's a pretty simple thing. So this is just a chorus effect. I can play it with it here.
Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, raining bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you're getting back less. That's a problem I'd attack, I should probably reflect. I should probably get away.
You hear how much wider it sounds? It detunes it and makes it sound less pleasant, but it's wide. That's how choruses are. Basically what they do is they take the source signal and they add a variation to the wave shape. So it can make your sound, because it is still one source layering on itself, it can make it a little phasey and cancel out, and it might not be reproduced well in like speakers and stuff. But I think in the case of saying background vocals, they're not that important to the mix. It's fine to put this stuff on things that aren't essential to the mix, and sometimes you can make a really cool effect on things that are essential to the mix. So it's just have fun with it, be creative, all that good stuff. That's what music is. So and then obviously the distortion completely changes the tone. So here's it with distortion, obviously. Thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, random bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you obviously it's a lot quieter without the distortion. I should probably reflect. I should probably get away before the shit gets worse. I should probably tell the truth instead of holding that. But it completely changes the tonality of it. So when it's mixing with your main vocal, even though it's just a double, it's adding a layer of things that your main vocal really doesn't have. And because I chose to like radio this it's actually adding the frequencies of the vocal that I want to be emphasized. I want to emphasize the intelligibility. I want to give it that little woof and that little crunch. So that's a really nice blend. And then at the same time, it makes the main vocal stereo wide, yet not really ruining its intelligibility. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool effect. And I did this with just one double. So this is just one extra take of the same vocal. The more takes you have can make it thicker, but it also makes it kind of messy, especially like if you can't get your takes exactly perfect to each other, it can sound messy. So I have been leaning on the side of not doing that as much. Unless you're really good, you got to be really good. Yeah. And after doing takes for doing like 20 different takes of the same thing, you start to just kind of be like, can I even do this? Because they're still not blending well. And you're just like, oh, well, whatever. Sometimes if you just do one take of it and then add some like stereoizing effects, it can sound better because it's more consistent. And it's not really layering on itself in different ways that you think. But it's always a different style. If you're going for a more natural style, more takes of the vocal and stuff might sound better. If you're doing a more artificial style, kind of like this song is, because this song's kind of robotic and stuff, I think it sounds nice. I think it's pretty pleasant. And it can make it less intrusive if you aren't stacking a bunch of things on each other, because then it starts to get overbearing in the mix. The ad lib, I'm actually taking away some of the send to the bus and putting more send on the reverb, so it's actually really wet. So you listen to this. Mistakes, thinking shit I don't say in my head like always random. It's pretty wet. Backlist, that's a problem I'd attack. I should probably reflect. I should probably get away before the shit gets worse. So if you want to send your things back in the mix, I mean, add more reverb to it. Reverb is a stereo effect. It's going to send it back in the mix because there's less direction on the center channel. So, however you want to approach that, this is a very simple way to mix your background vocals, and I think it is very effective in this case. But to each their own. You have fun with music and you do your thing. So after this portion of the video, we're talking about how I mix it into my specific mix. So stick around if you want to hear this. I'm going to play the vocals in isolation here. Yeah, we get a feel for that. Oh, wait. Oh, I have all my fucking takes down here and I have to compile it really quick. 1 second. This is annoying. If there's a faster way to compile takes in FL, fucking tell me that, please. So now I'll be to hear them in isolation. Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, random bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you're getting back less. That's a problem I'd attack. I should probably reflect. I should probably get away before the shit gets worse. Obviously, there's a lot of reverbiness and it kind of makes it unclear. Obviously, the main vocal is still cutting through and you can understand it, but I want it to be a little bit better. You know what I mean? So here's the background vocal. Obviously, hella distorted. Very stylistic in the way. And here's the main. Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, random bones like D-Day. Very dry. What you give and you're getting back less. Then them together again. Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, random bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you get. I'm thinking there's a few things I can do here. So I think that the distortion itself is really overpowering. The ad-libs themselves, or the background vocal is definitely sitting behind the main. Like, take a listen. Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like feels very wide. Like D-Day, giving what you give and you're getting back less. But what I want to do, make it less distracting. Like it's wide, it's not really interacting with the main vocal, but it just is very heavy still. So I think the distortion could be something that could tone that down. I could maybe reduce some of the reverb and stuff to up the clarity. I think I'm going to try the reverb first. So let's just hear it without reverb. I'm gonna take the reverb off of the ad-libs.
Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, random bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you're getting back less. That's a problem I'd attack, I should probably reflect. I should probably get away for the shit.
Sounds pretty cool still. Let's try it with just a room reverb on it.
Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, random bones like
That might be the balance.
Giving what you give and you're getting back less.
Because something that the distortion does do on the background vocal is it destroys the transients, so you just can't really tell what I'm saying in the background. It just seems like it's just beefing up the main vocal because it just has no clarity to it. Yeah, so let's hear it in the mix.
Fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, random bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you're getting back less. That's a problem I'd attack, I should probably reflect.
So I like it. I think I'm gonna need to make a separate track for the ad-lib reverb in order to make this happen. So I'm just gonna copy this track over, route this to the background vocals. It should be pretty easy. So just do that and like that. And then what I'm gonna do is actually automate the ad-libs. So okay, something to note. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here. Reverb will in general make something go back into the mix. At that point in the mix though, there is so much reverb that is distracting. Cutting it down and simplifying things can clarify things. And if your background vocal is already sitting back far enough, then it's okay to take away some of the reverb. You don't really need it. Yeah, that's what we're getting at here. So I'm going to add a track, a couple tracks, I guess. Automation clip, particularly here. So it's gonna default to that value, and then what I like to do, just so I don't fuck it up and I can do things quickly, is I actually go into this, double click the automation clip, do this thing and set the max, copy paste the max value you actually want. You set the minimum too. I mean, I can change that later if I want. And then when you set up your automation clip itself, then all you need to do is max it out. So like now this will be at whatever that was, like 70%, 65% or whatever. So this is the send volume going into the ad-lib. So it isn't actually the wet volume. So when I take away the mix on this, it'll still carry on whatever was before it, but will get cut off after that. So you'll hear this here, but I can end it right there. So it's gonna have reverb, and then the reverb from the old stuff is still gonna keep going, but the new stuff won't have reverb. So listen to this. Reverb.
But I'm going to know that it's not like that. 'Cause I've been making fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't
Makes the transition really clean. What I can do here is actually like at the end, just like ramp it up. And I want over here as it goes out into the chorus here where it's layering with the chorus, I want it to stay up. So that's what I'm gonna do. So then it'll start to ramp up at the end of this verse here. So hear that. I'll ramp it up faster. I've been trying to make you happier, 'cause you ain't done no wrong to me. Why take it out on you? Blame that. I want it to end here. Get to hear how this comes in now. So like from where we started at the beginning to here we are now. 'Cause I've been making fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, raining bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you're getting back less. That's a problem I'd attack, I should probably reflect. It really tightens it up, man. And then let's hear it without this. So without this, it's gonna be just a slurry mess. 'Cause I've been making fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. I still think it sounds cool though. I think that's dope. I think I could probably still tone back the distortion a little bit. So let's just like listen to it here and mess with this distortion knob while we're listening.
fucked up mistakes, thinking shit I don't say. In my head like always, raining bones like D-Day. Giving what you give and you're getting back less. That's a problem I'd attack, I should probably reflect. I should probably get away before the shit gets worse. I should probably tell the truth instead of holding that. Yeah, like a welcome in the pain, then go and deal it out more. I should probably get away before the shit gets worse. Yeah.
Kind of adds like a woof to the main vocal, like woof woof. Because in that point in the song, like it's like the faster flow and stuff, you want to maintain as much clarity as you can, or else people are just gonna be like, what the fuck are you saying, dog? This is all I really wanted to cover in this video. Pretty simple topic here. Just how to mix some background vocals that they layer really nicely and don't intrude on your main vocal or intrude on the intelligibility. I think this is a clever way to remain your intelligibility on your main vocal, because even though this is a rap verse, it doesn't get ruined by having a background vocal, yet it's being layered at the same time. You can still very much tell what I'm saying. So I think it was pretty effective. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and sub or whatever. And I've got some songs coming out pretty soon. I have an album coming out at the end of the year. If you're interested in listening to that, if you like this song, songs like this are going to be on there. And then I have a song coming out on November 3rd or 4th. It's the Friday at the beginning of November. And I might release another song with a buddy I'm working with here. You guys have a good one. See you in the next video.
Take a look at the verse. Might be seeing wrong, but the shit is getting worse. Look up to my idols and I see them all burn. No, I might be wrong, but the shit, it really hurts. Someone you thought you knew, always making wrong turns. When we gonna learn? When we gonna learn? I've been losing hope, but I hope it takes a turn.